Alrighty, we are back with another episode of JR Takes. It was not a pretty one, Ryan. In fact, I feel like we won the game, but we didn't. Like, that's how we played. I feel like we just, for like 54 minutes, 7 minutes of the game, we were playing better, and then we just didn't.
We were in the lead for like literally 58 and a half minutes of this game. But real quick, one bit of good news out of the way, because I'm not going to have a lot of good news in this podcast. We just got these new JR Takes Sportscast shirts, courtesy of our wonderful, wonderful friend Michael Gundrum. He's a graphic designer.
Yeah.
And,
they're really sick. They're really comfy, and got the logo on the back there.
Yes.
I think we're gonna be seeing these like every podcast.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
We make it a whole line of them going. Could be for sale as some merch for those of you listening and watching out there. And yeah, pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, no, it's really awesome. I didn't even know he was making them, so that was pretty cool. I mean, until he already made them.
Yeah.
I knew they were coming eventually, but
yeah, they look great. They feel great. They are awesome.
Yeah.
And with that out of the way, this was fucking terrible. And I predicted on the last podcast, like, I thought we were going to win. And the amount of things that had to go wrong for us to not win in this game, the list is so long, it's astonishing. Because we won this game.
Yeah.
In every aspect but that one little point that the Rams had more than us, which I know is fucking dumb. But holy shit, the amount that had to go wrong for them to walk out of there with a win, them being the Rams, it's hard to wrap your mind around it. And I feel like this is like the 9th week in a row I've come on here and talked about the penalties, the untimely mistakes, the drops, the jumping off sides, the holding, the missing tackles. I mean, we let fucking there's so many levels to go through here, but let's just start with first things first. So start off the game looking fantastic. Once again, this is like the 9th game this year where we've just driven right down the field, looked like a fantastic top-tier offense. We score on a great throw and catch to DK Metcalf after a drive of mixing in the run and pass, mixing up the receiver that we're targeting, and it's looking great. The Rams get out there. They really can't do a whole lot against our defense, and, we get the ball back. We score again. It's a field goal. Same thing. Stop the Rams, get the ball back. Get into scoring position, and we have penalties back us up, and we're kicking another field goal. So this could have very easily started off as a 21-0 lead for Seattle. We were absolutely dominating this game in every facet, but the scoreboard, once again, it's unbelievable. But when you let a team hang around like this is what can happen. And this has been it was almost a problem against the Commanders. It was almost a problem against the Browns. It finally came back to haunt us today, or yesterday rather. And I don't really know who to point the finger at here, because there's so many mistakes. You have Will Disley dropping a pass to start the second half that would have for sure gone for a first down. You have countless experienced players either jumping off sides, false starting, holding, like Colby Parkinson held on an awesome play with Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker goes down, which was a factor in this game for sure. But then Tariq Woolen, how many times are you going to get a hands to the face penalty? Because it's ticky-tacky, I agree, but they're calling it this year.
Yeah, well, real quick, there was some bad calls in that. Hold on one second.
Yeah, the refs.
You want to just? Yeah, I'll just edit this part out.
Sorry.
All right, well, jumping back
into it. Maybe I'll
leave
it in. It might be kind of funny.
Jumping back into it, the referees can get fucked. You guys are doing such a fucking terrible job this year. Every goddamn game, week in and week out. Big third down stop. Oh, bullshit defensive flag.
The flag against
Witherspoon?
It was on Witherspoon against Puka Nacua.
Yeah, okay.
He just fell down.
Puka Nacua trips over his dumbass feet, and Witherspoon just happens to be behind him, and he gets flagged on a third down stop. giving them first and goal at the 1, essentially giving them a four extra points in a game the Rams won by 1 goddamn point. You cannot make that call.
Yeah.
The Rams jumped off sides clearly on one of our drives in the second half. No flag. Inexplicable. You call us on every single fucking ticky-tacky hold imaginable in the universe. The Rams literally tackle Devin Witherspoon on a big run play right in front of a ref. Flag stays in the pocket. It's so ridiculous. Like, I can understand if a call doesn't go our way where it's like 50-50, but the amount of just clear, obvious misses by the officials in the NFL this year, it's fucking unacceptable.
Yeah, I had a bad feeling because I was watching the condensed game this morning, and I think there was it's like 11 minutes left in the fourth. We had just picked the ball off, and like you look at that score, it almost reminded me of the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I was like, I don't love that we're winning by 9. I know we have the ball, but we better not go 3 and out or do what we did. And of course, we had Drew Lock in the game, so it was the perfect. Like you said, it was the perfect storm. Everything had to go wrong.
Yeah, and I mean that's not even. Let's talk about the coaching staff. I think I've gotten on the players enough already, because they made a lot of mistakes. But what do we do in rotating offensive linemen in and out of the game when they're all healthy? Like, there's this thing called rhythm and chemistry that you need to have the same 5 on the field consistently at the same time. Jason Peters is a great story. I don't give a fuck. If you start him, play him the whole game.
Yeah.
Damian Lewis, Phil Haynes, if you start him, play him the whole game. Those guys both look like they're better suited to work at a fucking Taco Bell right now, by the way, than block for anyone. They cannot create any holes in the run game. And Phil Haynes whiffed so bad on Aaron Donald, which, again, I kind of put that in coaching. Just double team him. Like, don't put Phil Haynes sucks.
Are you talking about when Gino got hurt?
Yes, that's what I mean. Like, you trusted a shitty guard to block the greatest defensive lineman maybe ever. I don't think it's an exaggeration to throw that statement out there for fucking Aaron Donald. I hate him, but he's awesome. And look what happened. Gino gets hurt. He gets hit so hard in his tricep he can't even extend his arm. And all of a sudden, Drew Lock's in there, and the guy can't pick up a fucking first down to save his life. I don't want to be too hard on Drew Lock because he's a backup for a reason, and I think, this game is a pretty good chunk of evidence that it should remain that way, and the calls for him to come in were just emotional and not logical. I will say the first throw he tried to hit JSN on, JSN's got to break inside more to the open space on that deep post over the middle.
His interception, wasn't that on 3rd down?
It was.
So it was kind of like a punt.
It was, as far as interceptions go, like, there's many worse interceptions that have been thrown.
I wasn't that mad about that. I was more just I don't know. I was saying this to you earlier. I wasn't really even mad during the game. I was just more like, I feel like what's going to happen is going to happen, and it did. And we lost a game, and I had a bad feeling of. And I'm hoping that we look back at this game and we look back on it for good reasons, not for like that's the game we dropped and our season's over now because of that game. It came back to bite us, but I don't know. I think we're a young team, like I said. And Devin Witherspoon he just got screwed by the refs in that Puka call. That really changed the outcome of the game.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. If you want to blame this game on the refs, I go right ahead.
Is that the one at the end zone?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one was.
That was the biggest call of the game.
Even that you heard the announcer, and the announcers don't do this that much, and they were like, that was a bad call.
I think that might have been Matt Ryan too, which shout out for being objective.
Something.
And also, like, I know that we.
Keep going.
Yeah. What was my train of thought there?
Talking about the Puka Nacua penalty.
Yeah. On first glance, like, my brother was like, "Oh yeah, you can't bring him to the ground, dude. I saw that too." And then we watched the replay, and it's like that wasn't what happened. So it's like we have replay for a reason to correct missed calls like that.
They need to fundamentally change the way pass interference is called, because it's fucking ridiculous. Like the no calls when they should be called are egregious, and the calls when they happen, it's bigger. It's almost bigger than the catch being made sometimes because of the emotional impact it has. It pisses everyone off. You know, it's a huge penalty. Like, here's one thing they could do immediately to make it easier. Just have it be a 15-yard penalty like they do in college. The spot foul, it's bullshit. You're being over-rewarded for it. And number two, I thought it was a great move that we made it reviewable a couple seasons ago, and the execution for that change was horrific, so they got rid of it. No, we need to have, like Mike Pereira, get him out of retirement, have him just watch the game. And if there's an egregious call like that, like, have it be reviewable.
It needs to be rectified.
Yeah, like it's just, and I don't think I don't care what NFL team you're a fan of. You got to agree with what I'm saying here, because every team is getting fucked over by it. It just changes, you know, week to week, whoever gets fucked over the most by this terrible penalty that exists in this league.
Yeah, I agree with your 15-yard penalty. I was thinking about, because I think we were talking about that the other day, Colby, why it's 15 yards in college and why it's spot of the foul in the NFL. And I think it's because being in the NFL, you have to play better defense than you did in college. So it's like...
I think it should be 15 yards. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, that's what we're saying is that's what we're saying is like... I mean, I get why it's spot of the foul, because you need to play better defense, but the game is already so in favor of the offense.
I know, and
already that maybe we do need to dial it back and maybe help out the defense a little bit. Even though the defense is this year, the narrative has been they're playing better than they have in years.
Yeah, but
I think it's
still
outrageous for someone to get 90 yards on possibly a ticky-tacky pass interference.
That probably is. Nobody can throw it 90 yards, but I understand what you mean. It's
a huge play.
It's over rewarding a mistake by the defense.
Yeah,
you know, like in favor of the offense.
The fact that the play exists in football where you can just strategically throw a Hail Mary in hopes of getting a pass interference, so you can get it down at the 1 and then run it in.
And if the receiver just goes like this, even if they weren't touched, like Puka did, then okay, like they just get a flag for bitching. It's terrible. It's horrible for the sport. It makes it fucking unwatchable.
Yeah, let's
so
get 15 yards.
They got to make a change, man. Like it's not an uncommon sentiment amongst the NFL fandom too. Like everyone hates it. So Goodell, go fuck yourself or make a change. Jesus Christ. Anyway. I remember we were talking about this after the game. Did Pete Carroll say anything about the refs? He did. On the Brock and Salk show, he said that Puka penalty was like unexactable.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
because
good.
it was.
Is he gonna get fined?
I don't. Who cares? Honestly, like
yeah.
Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll has so much money.
Like just that.
I mean, I feel like if the league's only response is to find Pete Carroll, like, well, you know where we stand. Roger Goodell is public enemy number 1. Like he's in charge of this product. So.
Well, and I was kind of thinking about like all these injuries from Thursday night games and shit like that. They should also just add another bye week to the schedule. Why not?
Or like, why don't we just move? Like, why don't we have it be Friday night football? Like, is that what is so difficult about scheduling that's impossible? Like, just give even just another day rest would help a lot. You know?
Yeah.
These are human beings we're talking about.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to get rid of Thursday night football because we all need it. Like,
I mean,
who are we kidding? We all want it and need it.
As a fan, yeah, absolutely. But the product has been dog shit.
Yeah.
But if you change
often.
Thursday to Friday, then we're still getting that game.
Yeah.
But I also just think like there are so many injuries this year. Like adding another bye week, that also everyone will finally get their wish of the Super Bowl landing on President's Weekend or whatever, and then we would get that Monday off. So it's like it would just be the answer. And I'm not saying that injuries would go away, but it would definitely help to have another
agree.
week of rest.
I agree.
And it'd make the season longer.
Yep.
Everything about it would be good. But
there's a couple more things I want to talk about with this Rams game before we move on, though, because I'm not done. This coaching staff is really starting to frustrate me, man. Like, why the fuck are we playing Frank Clark for like 75% of the snaps, and our rookie second-round draft pick gets 6 snaps?
yeah, I don't know what's
Frank
going on
Clark-
with Derek Hall.
Frank Clark looks like he should be in a retirement home, dude. He is worthless out there. You know what his stats are for the season with us? 3 tackles on like 200 snaps and 3 missed tackles. None of which, like, he is worse than no player being present. Like, I knew losing Uchenna was going to be bad. I didn't know it would be this bad. That position, whoever is playing opposite Boye when we don't move Draymond outside, which is a good coaching decision. But yeah, when Frank Clark is in there, it's horrible. Darrell Taylor can't stop the run. And Derek Hall, I don't know what's going on with him. Like, he's not getting on the field, and he hasn't been good when he's on the field. But I'd rather have our rookie, second-round high draft pick be out there and making some mistakes than just some useless player. Like, and I'm sorry to be so mean to Frank Clark, but dude, have you watched him?
I can't say that he stood out to
He's
me.
He's a fucking liability, man. He can't do anything. He's getting outran by fucking 35-year-old Matt Stafford.
Well, I mean, if we're still choosing to play him over, we're still choosing to play him over the rookie, and that's got to speak for something.
We were choosing to play Bruce Irvin over Boye Mafe late into last season. Look at what Boye Mafe is now. Granted, he wasn't at that level yet, but I just feel
maybe
like
Derek Hall's the same type of player where he's a raw piece,
you can't look at the body of work that Frank is putting out. Like, dude, a fucking replacement level player would be better than what we're seeing out of Frank.
Maybe it's a case of we paid him a lot of money, so we got to play him a lot.
How old is?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of it. And
I'm just gonna disagree with whatever you say, to be honest. I can't be convinced that it's a good idea by anything.
Okay.
So
that's
sorry.
fine. That's fine. No, that's fine. I don't really. I'm not that much of a Frank Clark. Like, I'm not gonna die on this ship with him. I will abandon him at some point.
Props for giving the other side's case on that front, though.
I don't know. He's been on the team 2 games?
Nah, I don't know, 2 or 3.
Yeah,
it's all been bad.
Give him time. Give him time.
But the last guy I want to talk about.
I can look this up too. But do you know off the cuff how old Frank Clark is?
He's like the same age as Tyler Lockett, so like 31, 30, something like that. But the number one person I'm putting the blame on for this game is Shane Waldron. His inability to adapt to the flow of a game after the first couple drives is maddening. We went 1 for 12 on 3rd down after that first drive. What are you fucking calling, dude? Are you playing Madden? Like, come on. Like, it's 3rd and 2. It's 3rd and 2.
We did lose
running
Ken
the ball
Walker.
Great. Let me finish. It is 3rd and 2. We run a route with no players going over the middle of the field at all, and there's no check down on 3rd and 2. Why do you need fucking 40 yards on 3rd and 2? Just get it. Every single 3rd and short we had, and we had like 6 of them, we passed the ball. And on only one of them did we do a play action. So we're doing straight dropbacks on 3rd and short when we've been running the ball okay. Like, come on, man. We need, like, we can't win any games against anyone. We just played a very mediocre team and fucking lost. Granted, we nearly made a 55-yard field goal to win the game, but still, it shouldn't even have been close. And a big part of it is we're not extending drives. We're 1 first down in the 4th quarter probably wins us this game. That's the difference between winning and losing in this game, is just extending one drive for 1 minute and 45 seconds longer. That is on Shane Waldron. He has got to figure this thing out. He has got to get better to adjusting to the game as it, requires. I think he's done a good job designing plays this year. I think he's done a good job with like the first 15 play script. But it's like as soon as we get past that, how many second halves this year have we not scored a touchdown? I don't have the number in front of me, but it's probably over half the games we've played.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I've noticed the eye test, and it's Gino. It's Gino and him together. They're not making plays happen. First of all, the fact that we neglect the fact that we're dropping back, and when we're playing against Aaron Donald and we're not using the play action is a little mind-boggling. It seems like you give me the playbook and the headset, and I'm gonna call those plays. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that.
Or like run away from him, not directly at the only good player on that defense.
Yeah, and I again don't know why, if we are gonna go out of the shotgun, why don't we do my favorite offensive plays is the Peyton Manning slants over the middle. Why don't we do that more? Like Gino, I feel like would be good at that. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's accurate.
Yeah, we
have the receivers to play in the slot and make those.
Even Jake Bobo, like he's a really good short area quickness, which is weird for a guy it's like 6'4", 207, but
yeah,
he's got a big body. Slants where you're putting it right on him. That's a safe play. That should get you 4 to 6 yards every time.
Yeah, and
why don't we even try it? Like, it's not like we have 5'10" Russell Wilson that has a hard time seeing those plays. Gino's like 6'4".
Yeah,
like he can do that.
I know that's been my biggest gripe on the offense since the season has started. Is like those are easy plays to make. Those are easy completions over the middle. Like Brock Purdy is like the god of doing that.
Yeah, it's like we only try the difficult, long developing, like low percentage throws. That's like 90% of our pass plays after halftime for some reason. Like,
yeah, I would love it if he turned into check down Charlie, and that's how we beat every team. Like,
yeah,
isn't that annoying?
That's how
when
every team beats us. Like fucking A. So yeah, I gotta be honest. Shane has been very up and down as a play caller, but it's costing us games. You only get 17 of these things, and you cannot go half a game without getting a fucking first down on third down and expect to win the game. And I put the blame squarely on him. Like Drew Lock, the guy that hasn't really played at all this season and has never really shown anything that great in the NFL, and we're mostly dropping back to pass when we need just first downs to ice the game. Are you fucking on PCP? Like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing, man?
Yeah. I think, again, though, the Kenneth Walker going down, that really hurt that sort of script.
I agree. But, I mean, it's not like Sharp is a bum. I think Charbonnet has looked really good for most of it.
Yeah, I agree. Just that Kenneth Walker went down, I think, he's more important to our offense than we realize when he's not there. So
it's a shame we activated D. Eskridge instead of Kenny McIntosh for this game.
Yeah, is he healthy, or was he a healthy scratch?
Pete Carroll already said he's playing Thursday.
Cool.
I think he's doing that as a reaction to the Kenneth thing, because Kenneth is probably at least gonna miss this 49ers game, probably the Dallas game too, which is a huge bummer. That's gonna be tough to win those games without him. It was gonna be tough to win those games with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fucking done talking about this Rams game. I got my hate out, so I feel better.
Yeah.
But that was bad, and we needed it. Getting to 7-3 going into this 4-game stretch of 49ers, Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles, that would have been huge. That would have virtually locked up a playoff spot, because we still have a 2-game lead in the wild card standings, unbelievably. But you look at those teams.
Who's behind us? Minnesota?
Minnesota, by some weird tiebreaker that I don't understand, is behind us. So they're the 7th seed right now. And then you have Green Bay, the Rams, Atlanta, and the Buccaneers. They're all kind of floating around a 4-6.
They're all bad. I'm not worried about them.
And they all play each other. So they're like 8 and 9 might get you a playoff spot this year in the NFC. So
I think we're going to see that more often than not with this 17-game season. you'll just have teams below a 500
Especially
record.
with just how mediocre the NFC is, and there's not very quick fixes to most of these teams' mediocrity. So the AFC is just much, much stronger than the NFC right now. But yeah, this was a huge opportunity missed, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite us at the end of the year. But we are not going to be favored in a game until we play the Titans, more than likely. So it is do or die, and we are heading into the gauntlet. How do you think this 49ers game is going to go?
I have no idea, honestly. We're probably going to lose, but I want to believe that we're not. I don't know. I want to believe we're going to win. I'm like putting a mask on and crying behind it. You know? It's like, it's hard to say after what I watched yesterday that we're going to beat the fucking 49ers, like, especially with Mr. Irrelevant throwing for 3 fucking touchdowns and just absolutely carving up whoever I already forgot who they played yesterday.
The Buccaneers, but I mean,
yeah.
They suck. Like,
yeah. Yeah,
I'm not impressed by what the 49ers did yesterday. I'm just like, yeah, they're a very well-coached team. They're playing like they were playing at the beginning of the season again, and Purdy's been on target. They got one of the best run games in the league, and they got one of the best defenses in the league, and what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. So I think we lose. I think I hate to say that, but trying to be realistic. I think we lose 28-24.
I think if Geno plays, because he's going to be questionable likely this week, we have a chance. I think if Drew Lock plays, this may be a very bad ending to our Thanksgiving dinners. It could get ugly in a fucking hurry. I mean, you saw what they did against the Steelers earlier this year.
Against the Jags.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is a hell of a quarterback, and they made him look like a baby wavy. So this defensive line, especially with the addition of Chase Young, like, it's kind of just like fucked up. And
yeah.
The secondary is a weakness of this 49ers team, especially with Hufunga, or however the fuck you say his name. He's out for the year, torn ACL.
Yeah.
So that's a huge hit to an already not fantastic secondary, but their linebackers and just their front seven is so fucking good. They've really masked that weakness for a lot of this year. I think we have the receivers to make some plays against them, but with the way our offensive line has been playing, it's like, what does it matter how good our receivers are if in 2 seconds Geno's getting sacked?
Yeah.
And that's been our biggest problem for a lot of these games that we've lost this year, including yesterday. So I can't look at you and think of a logical reason why we would win this game other than we're at home and it's a short week and it's prime time and vibes. I don't know. Pete Carroll, hey, we beat the Saints, the defending Super Bowl champion Saints.
That's why I said I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we could win for no fucking reason at all. Just come out and look really good.
Yeah.
We also are really good in prime time at home. We just always have been in tough games.
Yeah, we beat the Super Bowl champion Eagles in 2017 at home in a year where we couldn't beat the fucking Redskins and Cardinals at home and missed the playoffs. So, like, yeah, random shit happens in the NFL, and this has been one of the most random years I've ever watched in the NFL. So, stranger things have happened, but yeah, I feel like we're gonna lose this like 31-13. To be honest, that's my prediction. I hope I'm wrong.
That's why I was giving us a 4-point margin, because I think we will come out and play well, and if we lose, I think it will be close. But I don't know. I think we'll come out hot.
I hope so.
With a fire in our gut.
We got to be way better on third down on both sides of the ball, and we have to convert the field goals into touchdowns, and we have a chance. And we have to play exponentially cleaner with our penalties. I think if we commit 3 penalties, we lose this game. I think if we have 1 turnover, we lose this game. I think if we miss one field goal or extra point, we lose this game. That's how thin the margin's going to be. So, yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be a tough one. But, we got a short week, so a lot of these questions will be answered in just a couple of days here, and I hope we'll have some better news for our likely second podcast this week.
Yeah.
This weekend. And that's pretty much all I got for this one.
Yeah. Just hopefully we can come out with fire in our gut and beat Mr. Irrelevant. Make him Mr. Extremely Irrelevant.
He's better buckle up.
All right,
Let's
that's
get
it.
out of here.